Eric Koa went from cutting hair in his mom's bathroom to building Pacinos, a men's grooming brand sold in Target, Walgreens, and even 20 plus countries. The first to bring barber-grade products to the everyday guy. He even cut hair for Jay-Z, P. Diddy, and Kevin Hart before turning his side hustle into a global brand. But here's the wild part. Despite all that success, their retention marketing is totally broken. I tested it myself. I went to the site. They got basic half-baked pop-up that forces you to give them your phone number, missing welcome emails, no education, no follow-up. There's no reason to come back to the site. And that's how even great brands silently bleed revenue without even knowing it. But here's where it gets good. I'm going to show you the exact strategy I would use if I owned Pacinos, if I was the boss. Step by step, I'm going to show you everything from the email collection that I would use, the acquisition flows. I'm going to show you the exact angles that we have tested and are proven to work, all the way to post-purchase flows that boost loyalty and lifetime value, all without spending an extra penny on ads. And if you're on a brand, you can literally steal the strategy, you can steal the templates, the frameworks, everything, just take advantage of it. Okay, so let me start from the beginning. As you know, this brand is getting traffic from their organic content and their paid ads, and only 2 to 5% of that traffic is converting into a customer on site. The other 95%, 97% of traffic is not converting because they are not inside of this stage, the ready to buy stage. They are in these other stages where they don't have enough conviction in the brand or enough desire for the products. So what we are going to do is we are going to capture 15 to 20% of the highest intent traffic, so the ones that were closest to buying, and we are going to retarget them using an owned channel and using advanced automations so that the brand doesn't have to hire a full in-house team sending campaigns every week. We want this to be automated. We want this conviction building to be automated. And we also want to retain these customers, okay, and increase the lifetime value because the brand has already paid to acquire them, whether it's through making content or through paid ads. So the first step to doing this is capture. So we are going to capture up to 10 times more site visitors using this strategy, where you first need to have a look at the sessions by landing page inside of the shop to understand the significant landing pages where traffic is coming to. And then we're going to have different pop-ups for different pages based on the awareness level of that page. So what do I mean? If it's a content page like a blog page, the awareness level of that traffic is in the learning mode or finding out more about a certain topic. Okay, the incentive you offer on that page is going to be significantly different than the incentive you offer on product pages and collection pages, because the traffic on this page, they are looking to buy, they're considering buying. Okay, so on blog pages and content pages, you want to have incentives that don't require them to buy. Okay, it can be anything that's valuable. It can even be a video that you've made 2 years ago. It can be a guide, it can be an ebook, anything that's valuable. And on these product pages and collection pages, we are going to be having an incentive for the order. So a discount, free shipping, and we are going to be testing each incentive. So we would ask Pacinos, we would ask the brand, hey, can you list all of the incentives you're comfortable giving? Okay, here we'd list all of the incentives, even if they don't sound as enticing. For example, a certain free product above a certain amount of order value. Or just list all of the incentives they are willing to give, and we would systematically test each incentive to find out the best performing incentive. After incentive, we would test the formats, different formats of the pop-up. What do I mean by format? I mean the way we are asking for their email. If we have a normal pop-up where it's, hey, you've got this discount, here is what we'll be getting inside your inbox, here are, this is completely private, confidential. If you've got 4 paragraphs on the first step, the email input field, the first name, the phone number input field on the first step, that's a very bad format. Instead, the first step of the pop-up needs to be a very, very simple step that simply asks them, hey, you've got this incentive, tell us a bit more about you. Okay, we make it about them. Another format that works well, that's high converting, is this one. We simply tell them, hey, do you want this incentive? Do you want 15% off? Do you want free shipping? And we give them a yes button or a no button. Okay, and all they have to do is press yes or no. When they click on yes, then they will see the email input field and the you could say the rules of the discount. So the order value, the minimum order value needed, etc., etc. So that's what I mean by format, testing different formats. And then we would test every variable possible. Okay, we'd set up a bunch of A/B tests. For example, we would test with the close icon and without the close icon. We'd test the speed timing. We'd test normal page pop-up versus full page pop-up. How fast the pop-up triggers. Okay, right? We'll set up all of these A/B tests to find the optimal pop-up for each page. And then, actually, before we go on to the flows, we need to understand, we need to ask a high leverage question on the pop-up so that we can speak differently using the flows to different types of people depending on what they want. What they want what's the pain point, and yeah, what's the goal. Just having one question, we have to dumb it down to one question to figure out who are we talking to, and then we can make the flows speak differently to different types of people based on what they answer over here. And then we have the flows. But before we jump onto the flows and get all excited, there is one important step that we need to do that most brands lack, and that's the domain warm-up. You see, even if the brand has been sending campaigns for years, even if it's not a new domain, 9 times out of 10, when I have audited Klaviyo accounts, deliverability 9 times out of 10 is damaged. So what you want to do, well, what we will do is we would set up this warm-up infrastructure inside of their account. We simply have to clone it over, turn it on, and it's going to automatically segment their email list into strict criteria that we have already created, and it's going to send them warm-up emails that ask for a reply, that scavenge engagement, and are going to tell inbox providers that, hey, this domain, Pacinos, signature line, or pacinosproducts.com, this domain is sending important emails. They should be landing in the primary inbox for all of our users, so people are using their inbox. So that's going to avoid going to spam or even the promotions folder if it's high enough. And by implementing this, you can see the difference in open rates, so before and afters. Okay, this is what we do for this brand, and let's focus on the flows. So first we have flows that will decrease the CPA, and by CPA I mean getting more conversions without spending more on acquisition. So first of all, we have the welcome flow. This flow is going to catch the lowest hanging fruit, okay? The people that were closest to buying or did not buy. Those are usually people that are product aware. So they know about the product, but they're considering different brands. They are considering different products. So in this flow, we need to answer the question, why Pacinos? Why this brand? You want to answer that question. You want to give them a quick overview of the brand, what you guys are about, and you want to have emails that focus on specific objections. Okay, for example, this is an email focusing on the price objection. Okay, don't just have emails that look nice, that have got some reviews, cherry-picked reviews on an email. That's not effective. You need to strategically map out the content to answer questions they might have, questions that your bottom of funnel will have, and handle objections and focus on pain points. And we can do that in a very personalized way, because if you remember, we asked this question and we can have different flows. We can have different welcome flows based on what they answer. Okay, you want to follow up about a discount as well in a unique way, because e-commerce has been around for more than a decade now. People have been shopping from brands online. You are not the first brand they've bought from, that they're buying from. So you need to stand out using unique angles, all right? Again, you want to focus on the, if you have a guarantee, have an email dedicated to the guarantee. Mention, hey, we've got this guarantee for you, all right? So each email needs to have a clear purpose. Don't just design emails that look nice or that sound nice. They need to have a clear goal, each email. But even then, even if we nail the welcome flow, 90% of the people that enter the welcome flow are not going to convert simply because of the nature of this world, because they don't have enough conviction. They just landed on the site. They were somewhat interested. There was a level of interest, but it's just not at a high conviction level. So what we are going to do is we are going to build conviction from scratch, or almost from scratch, by building desire for the products and, well, not building, enhancing desire for the product and building trust in the brand. Because if someone has enough trust in the brand and enough desire for the products, and if we keep adding touch points using different angles, at some point in time, they are going to buy. That some point in time can be months away, or it can be a few days away. That's why we use every angle possible to build desire, every angle possible to build trust, every angle possible to build desire. And we've stacked it inside of this flow, the endless nurture flow, where the copy is personalized to non-buyers, because 70% of an email list, 70% of a Klaviyo email list consists of people with no purchase. They've gone through the welcome flow. Now they're just sitting in your email list, receiving generic campaigns. Don't let that happen. You want to have a flow dedicated for them that will span across months on autopilot without you having to make emails from scratch every week. By the way, you could have the best email strategy, but if you're landing in spam, it's just not going to work. We recently helped a client go from 14% to 46% open rate by fixing 3 deliverability mistakes they were making. Another brand jumped from 37%, which is an average open rate, all the way to 67%. And another client's bounce rate this time dropped from 36% all the way down to 0%. There's a free guide in the description that shows you the exact fixes. It will take you 20 minutes to implement, but it could change your email marketing forever. So we have this flow that's going to add touch points, okay, building trust, building desire. We keep adding touch points for months. If you want some of these angles, I give about 10 of them away inside of a lead magnet on our homepage. Just go and sign up and you can test these for yourself. We have this flow that's going to have evergreen content, which means it can run all year round. Even if Pacinos has a sale, like a Black Friday sale or a seasonal sale, they will want to switch off the welcome flow because it has a discount in it. Logical, they can switch it off, but this flow will keep running because it's just content. It's educational content that's building trust and building desire without any discounts. And it's going to span across months, like 4 months. This is going to be building conviction, but just to push them over the edge, we have this flow, the downsell flow. It's a long flow that lasts about 3 months. It starts at a similar time as the endless nurture flow, and it has about 4 offers. Each offer has an announcement email, a launch email, a follow-up email, and a countdown email. Okay, while the copy is personalized to non-buyers, we acknowledge them saying, hey, you have not bought yet, you've been on our mailing list for quite some time. This offer is specifically for you, exclusively for you. This type of copy, this type of angle works better compared to flash sale campaigns that you're running, okay? And the best part is this is 4 offers, so 4 different offers that the brand is okay to give for these guys. Let's say it can be a percentage off, it can be free shipping, it can be a freebie, using different angles, different offers, because different people will respond to different types of offers. And we want to have this flow, send out one offer, so launch the offer, follow up about the offer, do a countdown on one offer automatically, and each offer will go out every 3 to 4 weeks. This gives them time to build conviction using this flow, and we push them over the edge with automated offer sequences. And these offer sequences are not just some basic, hey, here's a discount, hey, you've only got 24 hours to buy. I'm not talking about these types of emails that are plain. I'm talking about unique angles, okay? Having gifts that make it exciting. For example, this is going to be a flash gift where the light will flash and this will show, okay? We follow up using unique angles, okay? It's basically the same way you would test different ad creatives, get a nice hook, etc. Same for this. You want to make it a unique experience that's going to stand out in their inboxes and that's going to get as much engagement as. Then you have the abandonment flows. That's when people that come across these emails and click or go to your website, and also for your traffic that's coming from your ads and content, these flows are going to handle that traffic. Okay, it's going to acknowledge their action and it's going to be answering the question, why this brand? Okay, having plain text emails that personally asks them, hey, have you got any questions? Let us know, because if they do have questions, okay, one misconception is that they forgot to check out. That's not true. They did not forget, they hesitated, they did not have enough conviction. Because if someone had enough conviction in your brand, trusted your brand entirely, and had extreme desire for the products, they would have went back home, looked for their wallet around the entire house, and made sure they placed the order, okay? But because they did not have enough conviction, they just hesitated and left the checkout. So having emails that say, hey, you forgot your card, come back, is not going to work. You need to have emails that build conviction, even inside of the abandonment emails. Different types of emails, asking questions, okay, following up using unique angles, and yeah, having these types of emails in your abandonment flows. I'm not going to talk too much about them because everyone on YouTube and courses explains this, even though it's not that good. Everyone understands these at a good level. So these flows are going to decrease your CPA, and now the flows that are going to increase LTV for Pacinos. So first of all, when someone buys, they are excited, they're in the buying mood, they've got a wallet out, they just spent money. So that's one of the easiest times where we can get them to spend more. So within 5 minutes, we send them this email, an email like this, saying, hey, you can add more to your order for 20% off. You've got 30 minutes, and they can add it to their order. It's going to be the same order ID, the same shipment, so they don't have to repay for shipment. And we are going to be using this data inside of your Shopify reports inside of their Shopify reports to understand what items are frequently bought together. And based on that, we would have personalized emails going out to different people based on what they just bought, to give them a personalized recommendation that's likely to hit. Next, a few flows are going to be there to lay ground for loyalty, because if we want them to place a second order and a third order, we need to lay ground for loyalty. And we do that by using the following flows. So first of all, having a heartfelt thank you coming from one person. Okay, you want to humanize the brand. And then after 2 weeks, ask them, like, even though it's called review request, genuinely follow up with them, asking, how's it going? Check in with them if everything is going good. Show that you actually care. And don't just have some corporate email. Have an email that's coming from one person in your team, like genuinely following up. And then we can use this email to also get reviews, strategically get reviews. So the positive reviews will be linked to a review platform, an external review platform like Google Reviews, Trustpilot, etc. Because when new people watch your ad or are interested in your product, they're going to Google your name, try and see, okay, is this brand legit? What's the reviews like? They're not going to go to your product page and look at the reviews. They are mainly going to Google your name and look at what people are saying. That's mainly going to be Google reviews, Trustpilot, and stuff like Reddit. So we want to strategically get reviews on those platforms, good reviews on those platforms, and strategically direct the neutral and the negative experiences inside of a Google form where we capture their feedback, and the Google form, the brand will capture the feedback, and they can improve their customer service, their product, their experience, their workflows using the feedback inside of those forms. And then we have the endless loyalty flow. This is a flow that spans across months. This is not asking them to buy anything. This is simply going to give them value beyond a transactional level. Because when you do that, the relationship goes beyond customer and company. It basically becomes like they trust you the same way they trust their friend. Okay, you want to have value-based emails beyond a transactional level. For example, this is a powerlifting brand. We give them 5 recovery hacks and make sure the content is actually useful, not some general AI generated content. The content needs to be personalized to your audience. It needs to be actually useful. And next, more topics are basically content that's going to reaffirm the decision in your brand. Do not let them have buyer's regret, thinking, oh, I wish I tried the other brand. Instead, you want to reaffirm that they chose the correct, all right? Showing your processes, showing how much effort you put into your products, into your team, into your processes. Okay, and you want to keep sending this type of content for months because that's going to lay ground for loyalty and the second purchase. So for this second purchase, we have made a win-back flow dedicated to first-time customers because the second biggest chunk inside of your email list consists of people with one purchase. Okay, they've made one purchase, exactly one purchase. Now they're just sitting in your email list and just not doing anything, just receiving generic campaigns. So what we have done is we have created a win-back flow that is dedicated to first-time customers, where the copy acknowledges, hey, it was your first order. How was it? We say, hey, usually customers reorder for the second purchase around this time. I noticed you didn't reorder yet. Is everything okay? Using different angles and also having different offers lined up for them. And I'm not saying sending different offers straight away, but having different offers lined up for the next year, almost a year. Okay, because sometimes they're just not ready to buy again. So instead of pressuring them using the generic win-back flows that other people teach, you want to give them time. And whenever they're ready to buy, they can come back and buy. And to figure this out, to figure out when does a customer actually can be considered a lost customer, we have a look at hard data. Okay, we don't make assumptions. You just have to download this app, pull out this graph that shows how many the time it took second-time customers to make the second order. And we basically have a look at when did 80% of second-time customers reordered. And we use that as a trigger for the win-back flow for this flow. Keep in mind, this graph is for a brand specifically. This can differ significantly, okay? For you, even if for this brand it's 30 days, for another brand, even if it's in the same niche, just depending on the products, the pain points, etc., it can be 60 days, it can be 90 days, it can be half a year sometimes. So you want to have a look at this data when making this flow. And the same thing for repeat purchases, all right? If they've made a second order and they haven't repurchased for a long time, have a flow that will follow up with them for a long time, using different angles, acknowledging that they are a repeat customer, they have been a loyal customer, they've made multiple purchases, acknowledging them, and then giving them giving them offers. And keep in mind, the endless loyalty flow will also be triggering on these repeat buyers. So they will be getting content, they will be getting offers later on. And the best part is all of this is automated, okay? The offers go out automatically every few weeks. So this brand doesn't have to do some random flash sales, etc. The only campaigns this brand would need to manually send, are new product launches or seasonal sales. So sales are seasonal stuff that is significant to their audience. And apart from that, all of the emails are now automated. And not only it's automated, because we have personalized the experience for each stage of the funnel, all the way down to repeat purchases, the conversion is going to be higher because the copy is more personalized. The offers are more personalized. The angles we use to present the offers are more personalized to the exact recipient that is receiving the email. It's going to have a better conversion rate than the generic campaigns that go out to the entire email list. So this is a strategy we would implement. And again, the best part is it has to be set up once, it has to be nailed once, and then it becomes a lifetime asset for the brand. If you want some of these angles that I presented here, you can go and opt into our homepage. On our homepage, there's a lead magnet. Just go and opt in. You're going to get some templates, some angles that you can replicate for your brand and test them against your existing emails.